Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know without a shadow of a doubt that the quickest, the most proven path to financial freedom is finding discounted properties. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am telling you, if I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a fantastic Jim Rohn quote here. It starts off, let's get this brain working. Let's get fired up. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you want to make money, study the acquisition of wealth, which leads me into one of my favorite topics to ever talk about, and that is two words, ladies and gentlemen: massive deals. Okay, massive deal. I've got an interview with an unbelievable investor out of Fort Lauderdale, but before I introduce him, I want to just sprinkle a little bit. I want to preview this interview a little bit here and let you know that this is going to be, we're going to be breaking down a multi-family deal. Okay, a lot of us, when we're starting out, we get so scared about these bigger deals, these multi-family deals, but we're going to cut through all of that so that you have confidence moving forward to get those deals. And the second thing that we're going to do is sometimes you run out of time to wholesale a property, but it's still a deal. So what do you do? So without further ado, I want to introduce from Fort Lauderdale, Mr. Christian Samaza. How are you, Christian?
What's going on, Brent? How's everything going?
I'm excited, man. I'm so excited because a lot of people don't know this, but you and I would talk every week, and you wanted some accountability. You wanted to go through the numbers. You wanted to really break things down. We would talk, and it was just real high-level stuff. Your experience. You knew how to do deals, you know real estate, you know how to make money in this business, but you wanted the accountability and just checking everything, and I had a really great time doing that, but you weren't always so experienced, you weren't always so confident. Let's bring back to when you first started your real estate journey. Where did you start, and how did you kind of get your foot in the door with real estate?
So, started off as a realtor. Got my license, was watching the $1 million listing shows, and was like, okay, I'm gonna kick butt. Only received one listing in 6 months, and it was my grandma.
Sure.
That's it. So I had to go back to the 9 to 5. Actually went to a sales job, which was a boiler room, calling from 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you wanted to put overtime, you would do that.
Sure.
But got burned out, gave me a lot of experience on the phone, but I wanted to get back into the entrepreneurship side, like what really drives me. So went back into the real estate and didn't want to go back as a realtor. So I started deep diving YouTube, and I ran into wholesaling back in late 2015. I started listening to some people, bought some coaching programs, like the cheap ones, $1,000, learned the ins and outs of wholesaling. And in 2016, I just went all in and started doing some heavy marketing with direct mail. That's where I got started. And I did 3 deals my first year. It took me 90 days to get my first deal, but was sending out the yellow letters, the postcards, but it was painful, because I would send out letters, $2,000, $3,000 a month. Got a deal. My first deal was like $10,875. And I just saw that start going down and down, month after month, just sending mailers. So then, went into, again, picking up the phone and started calling people. So started calling people and kept doing some wholesale deals, but then graduated. My fiance and I met, and we just went ahead and bought our first rehab property. Made some money. That year, 2017, we did 6 rehabs, and it was,
oh my gosh,
yes, it's smooth sailing. First year doing rehabs, we did 6, and we were just flowing. Second year, that's when the real estate gods just wanted to test me, gave me the bad contractors, the city putting the tape on our doors, stop work, all the things you can think about. Had 4 to 5 mortgages at the same time because I was using hard money, private money. I wanted to scale, and it was just I wasn't ready.
Right.
Too
Right.
much at once. Too much
Yeah.
at once. So definitely learned my lesson. And then I joined TTP.
Awesome.
You know what? I need to simplify this. I don't want to stress out with contractors, paying 4 mortgages, paying Juan one day, having Harvey tell me, the contractors tell me on Friday, hey, I need 5,000 for my guys, 6,000 here. So I wanted to simplify things and go back to wholesaling,
Yep.
simple wholesaling.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, there is a big difference. And listen, this is all personal preference. This is all self-awareness. When you go through this business, there's so many different ways to do this business, right? But you need to understand that if you're going to go with being a flipper or a developer or doing these things, yes, the creative side of you comes out, and yes, you can make big spreads, but it comes with a lot of sleepless nights, in my opinion. It comes a lot with, oh my gosh, I got a text message at 5:30 a.m. of somebody that needs something from me or money or whatever else. That's why I think wholesaling is the perfect kind of blend, because you're sourcing your own opportunities, which is huge. Right? We're finding our own deals, so we can use whatever exit strategy we want. But markets, I mean, you can make almost as much on a wholesale deal as you do on a flip. You know what I mean? Especially in the Floridas, Californias, Arizonas, the Colorado. I mean, pretty much anywhere, actually. I could probably go all 50 states. But it's just absolutely incredible the advantage that you have if you find your own deals. So why did you want to be a realtor? I mean, it's not like you go to school and you grow up and you're like, hey, I want to be a realtor. You know what I mean? Did you read a book, or did you have a family member, or did you watch a show, or what clicked that said real estate is the path that I know that I can be good at this?
My dad. When I was in college, I graduated from FIU. Any South Floridians, they know where it is, Florida International University. I went to school for business. My sophomore year in school, I started a business with my mother, selling beauty creams, and we were making money, but that ended. And my dad one day told me, watching the $1 Million Listing TV shows, all these TV shows, he told me, he's like, oh, why don't you get your license? He planted that seed, and I said, you know what? Let me check it out. And I got my license, started talking to people, and I was like, okay, I think we can make some money here.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's so cool that you guys had that moment to share, and you were both feeling it. He must have seen something in you, maybe a sparkle in your eye or something that popped up, some sort of energy coming out of you, some sort of vibe coming out of you about real estate that he tapped into, which I absolutely love that. I'm going to have to look for that in my kids. I don't know if my kids have that, but maybe they do. Who knows? But that's interesting that he found that about you. So, and then you started getting into flipping. You started getting into wholesaling, right? What was the transition like from flipping the properties to wholesaling? Were you sourcing your own flips at the time, or were you getting them from wholesalers or agents?
I was at first I was doing wholesaling.
Right.
I did 3 wholesale deals, virtual in my local market.
Right.
And then I went into flipping. But I was getting them directly. We were getting them, right? So whether it was direct letters, direct mail, or calling. Now, eventually we picked one up from the MLS. It was an REO. And then I've also bought a property from a wholesaler, so I've been on the other side. I've been on this side, been a buyer, been a seller, have worked with wholesalers, have wholesale properties myself. So, I've been on many different shoes.
And you were making the calls yourself?
Making the calls myself, yes.
Incredible. And I know now your fiance also did some as well.
Right. My fiance's right there with me. We were definitely hitting the phones every day. And that's the main thing I got with the TTP program, which is I was calling before, but then managing properties, driving from one property to the other, Home Depot, Floor and Decor. And talking to you, I was able to get organized. I called you up and it's like, Brent, I need to get organized. We need to make this happen because You know, I feel like I'm all over the place, and that's when I started getting, okay, we got to set the schedule every day. By the end of the week, we need to hit this many people, and I want these many hours on the dialer.
Well, we had goals, and it was great because it was like, hey, what's your hottest leads? These ones. Lock them up this week. And then I call you the next week, and you're like, yeah, I locked it up. So I was like, yo, that's it. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's just setting the main ones, looking at your hottest leads, making sure that you're bringing in new leads. Because remember, everybody out there listening, when you bring in leads and you get one of those to sign a contract with you, you need to figure out how many leads did it take to get a deal. And remember, once you get that deal, you're not replacing one lead. You're replacing the 20 leads it takes you to get a deal, or the 30 leads to get a deal. So the engine has to keep going, or your business is constantly in fluctuation. It's constantly unstable. And so that's what we were really working on with Christian, and he did a phenomenal job. And then he brought in the secret assassin, which is his fiance, who's way better at these calls than he is, just naturally, which is really phenomenal. He was telling me before this interview that like 3 strong leads this week or something that you guys are going to do something special with. So if there are any ladies, the ladies that are watching and listening to this, listen, you are powerful. You're way better at this than we are. People trust you way more. And if you were a husband or you're a boyfriend or a fiance or whatever, bring them in, see what they think. I mean, obviously it helps if you're making money at this. Right? It obviously helps if you're being successful, but bring them in. I think that that's really a strong thing to do for sure. So.
Absolutely. I mean, I think like women, they have a strong power. Sometimes I get off the phone with the lead and I wonder, it's like, if Crystal would have talked to her or him, I wonder if she would have got him. You know? We still put it on the follow-up, but switch it up. Instead of me talking to the person, I'll say, hey, call this lead because I don't think they're feeling me too much, but maybe you talking to them will be a different story, you know?
Perfect. You said it perfectly. Just a different energy, a powerful energy for sure. So how do you organize, when you're making all these calls, how do you organize your leads, and what is follow schedule? You know, speak to somebody that maybe is new to this, or maybe they're kind of getting things going and they've got some leads, but they haven't quite, got it pushed past the finish line. How do you get it pushed past the finish line?
Well, most important, Brent, and I think you can agree with me, is getting that CRM system in place, whatever it is. Not Excel, not Notepad, not I'm remembering who I'm going to call, but actually getting a CRM so you can set them in there and do a follow-up, next week, or call me back in 2 weeks. I'll be in Miami. Call me back next week. My sister's going to be down there in Fort Lauderdale, whatever the case is. So that's the most important thing for me, because it comes to the time where you're talking to so many people that you're going to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Lead's going to slip by. So as soon as I get a lead on Mojo, I go ahead, save the notes, copy and paste it, send it to my CRM, and then just set whatever the next follow-up is going to be, depending on the conversation.
So step 1, organize it. Keep it in front of you. You got to keep it in front of you. It has to be fresh. You have to know who you need to call on a certain time, at a certain day, whatever it is. And you can certainly set that up. If you're more tech advanced or more kind of a tech mind, then find something that works. Don't get too buried with it, to where you're playing around too much and it causes creative avoidance. I mean, for real, right here, this thing was my CRM for the first $1.5 million I did in real estate. Okay, right here, Christian, look at this. It's got 1 through 31 here. These are the dates. I would put my leads in there. It's the 27th. I pull out the 27th. I call them. It gets done. I write all my notes. I put it in. I know when I'm following up. So listen, it doesn't have to be rocket science, but you do have to be organized. You do have to keep it clean. That's the difference between people that want to dabble or kind of be an amateur at this versus the professionals. It's tracking your numbers, tracking your leads. I love it. I love it. So in your market, because you've got some pretty high-end properties in your market, right? You've got some high-end properties. You play around with that a little bit, and also you love the multifamily, right?
I love the multifamily. With this last deal that we did, it was actually you recommended, because the big question is, what list do I call? Hey,
Yep.
what list do I call?
Yep.
What's the magic sauce? Because everybody's calling out there, everybody's mailing. So you want to get records, because if you're going to be calling 20 hours in a week, you need at least 2,500 people to call a month. So definitely went ahead and said,
So
hey,
break that down a second. 2,500 people, because this is a question that a lot of people ask me. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. 2,500 people a month, and about how many hours of calls, or you know what I mean?
right.
Does that break down to you?
So, and this is after you start calling, you can start seeing your numbers and start breaking them down and realize, okay, every week I'm averaging 15 hours, 20 hours. But then you also have to know how many records you have to put into that Mojo system. So every week we're doing about 20 hours of calling a week. That's
Yep.
my fiance and I.
Love it.
I know that within 2 hours that we call in the day, we're going to call anywhere between 50 and 70 people,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
then you start doing the math.
Yep.
For the month, we're going to need at least 2,500 people to just keep us on the phone every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, and that's what's so important. What Christian's saying here is you need fresh lists. I'm telling you, there is something that happens the first time you call through a list, it's most likely that you're going to get a hold of the motivated seller. The second time, it's a little bit of dip, but then after the third or fourth time trying to call the same list, your contact rate, your ability to have people answer the phone within an hour time frame goes from like 15 to 17 people an hour the first time to like 2 or 3. So then all of a sudden you're talking to people every 30 minutes, but you committed an hour. You're not getting enough impact. You're not having enough conversations to be able to provide enough value to your marketplace to be able to hit the income goals that you have. So it's really important. What Christian's saying is refresh. He pulls 2,500 every single month so that they are going after fresh properties that they haven't necessarily called before. So that's such a great tip. So let's break down this deal, right? Let's break down this, what was it, triplex? Triplex.
It was a beautiful triplex.
Okay.
Beautiful triplex here in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. Now, what list did you get it off of?
I got, so I'm with PropStream.
Yep.
Went to PropStream, put multifamilies, so 2 to 4. 10 years ownership, the criteria we go through, right? 300 or 3. I think I put 400,000 or less for the price.
For the last purchase price, right?
Exactly. Just because I know here in South Florida prices are different.
Yeah.
I've called Alabama, I've called North Florida, and we're just completely different.
Yep.
I went with a little higher price point on.
Have to. Yeah. Anybody that's in those markets where the average price point is much higher, expand that. And the reason that you're going after, well, maybe you can explain it. Why go for properties 400K and less as opposed to 200K and less?
Well, I just want to expand, right? So in my opinion, like I need 2,500 leads a month. So I'm gonna go 400 and lower. Once you start playing with the criterias, if your list is too big, then you start playing with the numbers to lower your list. If you want more numbers, then you put 400, 500, and then you get more properties, more records.
Yeah, I love it because as you start pushing up that purchase price, the spread,
right,
the
absolutely.
spread starts getting bigger. You know what I mean? And for everybody, by the way, if you're listening to this and you want to see a beautiful man, and it's not me, make sure that you see the video interview here because Christian is phenomenal. And if you want to put a voice to a face to a voice, make sure you check out Brent Daniels' YouTube channel. You can watch the interview there as well. And that just kind of helps it. I don't know. I like watching video interviews for some reason. It just makes it seem more real, but whatever. Anyway, so we're at 10 years ownership. I love that because what that says is maybe they're tired of owning this property. That's such a key. 400,000 or less. He's not going for the ultra luxury, $2 million triplex on the, some beautiful lot type of thing.
Right.
And he's going 2 to 4 units because these are typically owned by individuals and not individuals that own big portfolios of property. So you're dealing with somebody that maybe they just own this as their rental. Maybe they're tired of it because they've had it for 10 years and it's not ultra, they don't have these gigantic expectations of what this property is worth. Absolutely phenomenal. And he's pulling this from PropStream. If you don't have PropStream, you can trial it at ttpdata.com, ttpdata.com. Check it out. It is phenomenal. We use it as well. And then so you pull this list, you get the numbers, and is it a call? Is it a text? What'd you do?
Calling. So pull the list from PropStream, get the Excel, send it over to batch skip tracing. They work very quick. They send me the Excel again with all my numbers. They give you like 10 numbers, right? Pick the first. I go with the first 4. I say, okay, I'm gonna do the first 4. Upload that baby to Mojo, and start calling.
So just to clarify, everybody, when you skip trace an address, sometimes they come up with what, Christian, like 10 numbers, right?
Numbers.
10 numbers, 12 numbers, 100 number, whatever it is. And just because I have a phenomenal friendship and relationship with batch skip tracing, I actually rent space in their building. They told me the first 2 numbers are 90% likely to be the ones that you get a hold of them. So Christian expands that a little bit to 4, and just so that you're not calling junk numbers and slowing down the process. Yep.
Then you're killing a lot of time.
Yep.
So yeah, just jump on the phone and start calling. They're basically absentee owners with multifamily. So just start talking to them and start getting good leads. Good leads. I was surprised. I was like, wow. I'm getting some pretty good contacts here.
Yeah.
Then I get the triplex on the phone, and it actually took like 3 weeks from the first time we spoke to the time we, put them into the follow-up system, talk to them next week, call me back on Friday. Yeah, maybe we can meet next Monday. Christian, on Wednesday works for me. Okay, perfect. Does 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock work better for you? Let's do 1 o'clock, and then get to go see the property like 2 to 3 weeks after the first call.
Love it.
Saw it, beautiful property, impact windows. It's not run down. All the tenants are paying, even during COVID. So got in there, saw it, and I was like, wow, this is a really good deal. Ran my numbers when I got back home, and I was like, man, it's that time where you have to come up with the offer.
Yes.
And I was just like, I don't know if this guy's going to go for my offer, but, I was talking to another person and we're like, let's go ahead and shoot an offer between 350 and 400, right? Give him a range, because I saw that the retail value of that property was 500. So I was like, you know what? All right, let's go ahead and shoot that offer between 350 and 400. So I give him a call back and I tell him, listen, we love the property. We want to make an offer on this property. And he was the type of seller that we all hate. Make me an offer.
Yes.
Make an offer.
Because we try to pull it out. Everybody listening, remember, whenever you're talking to a motivated seller, you need to find 4 things to pre-qualify them, the 4 pillars: the condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, their motivation to sell that property, or what is the problem, and their price. So Christian's trying to pull the price out of him, and he's staying firm at, give me an offer, give me an offer, give me an offer. I don't know. You called me. All these things that they go through. And so you had to present him.
Had to present him the offer. So what I do there, I just pull the ballpark. Hey, Mr. Seller, we have to be, somewhere between 350 and 400. Silence.
Right.
Silence. Because I learned that from another coach.
Sure.
Put your offer out there and just shut up, dude. So I put the offer out there, that range, and he said, well, that's what I was actually thinking. And I was like, whew. So right there, I knew we had something. We negotiated. I tried to go at the bottom at the 350, but he said, no, I need to be somewhere in between. Told him 365. He said, oh, I want 370. I said 365 is the max I can do. And then, we just came and agreed on 365, wrote up the contract, and opened escrow.
Isn't that the best feeling ever? Wait, the best feeling ever is when you throw out a ballpark and you're nervous. You're like, man, between 350 and 4, and they say to you, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Right.
Isn't that the best? Oh,
that's like goal, like
yes.
perfect. We're dancing.
That's what I'm saying. That's that old Robert Kiyosaki quote. The deal of a lifetime comes around about once a week. You know what I mean? It really does. If you put yourself in enough situations to be able to do that and ask that and be brave and have courage to say 350 to 400, and they say, yes, that's what I was thinking. Was the condition pretty rough? Did it need a lot of rehab, or was it pretty clean?
It was clean. The roof was like 7 years old, impact windows, backyards, paying tenants. Some of the units were renovated, certain areas, right? The middle unit had a renovated kitchen. The corner unit, upgraded kitchen. The larger one had remodeled bathroom. So a little bit here and there, So it was actually a really good property. And me having some experience in real estate, I went through I'm going to keep this as a rental.
Yeah.
No, you need the money. Wholesale it. No, we're going to have to wholesale it. We have to take it down. But I talked to you and I told you, Brent, I'm thinking about keeping this one.
Yeah.
And you told me, sell that puppy, get that money.
Yep.
Level yourself out and, keep moving forward.
Well, you were moving. You had a lot of things. You were a lot of moving pieces. You needed like this big. Well, we'll talk about what you made on it, but it was just the right heavy check to get at the right time. You know what I mean? I wouldn't give that advice all the time, but I think that this situation called for it. So why did this guy want to sell it?
He had another business. And with COVID, he was hit hard with COVID with his employees' business because it was a catering business.
Oh man!
That industry got hammered when COVID hit. That industry got hammered, and he needed the money.
He needed the money.
So we were able to give him the money. I believe the closing was 30 days, 35 days. So he had the cash that he needed for whatever he needed to do with his other business.
So then you put it out. And remind me if I'm wrong, but you were putting it out and you had some interest, but not at the price that you felt like you could get for it. Is that right?
I put it out and, working with another wholesaler, I told him, hey, Nick, shoot this one out. He shot it out and he got a really high offer, a 516, but nothing manifested from it. So then I was like, okay, let's start to get realistic. We got to move this thing. Time is running. Week in, week out, closing date coming soon. So ended up getting some offers from other buyers through another wholesaler, but they just weren't closing. Like the guy said, I'm interested, but I have my money tied up in Israel and I can't get it out of Israel because of COVID and my bank and something and this and that, so I had to start looking at the option of actually buying this thing. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know there's money in here. I know there's a good deal. I've had some interest. I need to put this baby on the MLS, to get more buyers. So I set up everything to go ahead and purchase it with a private partner that we have that he basically put 100% of the money down.
Now, is this a private partner that you've just built a relationship with over the years? Is this somebody that you started a relationship with? Like, how do people get money to buy properties like with 100%? You know what I mean? That you don't have to put anything into it.
With this one, I got lucky. I'll be completely honest with you. My fiance's dad, he loves real estate. Mm-hmm. And he actually funded our first rehab when her and I first started. And we just split it 50-50. But that sparked it and that took off. And from there, we bring them in on certain deals. On this one, I had the option of going hard money.
Yep.
but I did not want to use $45,000 in my bank account for a down payment and
Right.
then be like, money and this and that, paying a mortgage payment. So we said, you know what, let's bring in your dad and shoot him the numbers. He's a numbers guy. He's like, let me see the numbers. You call him, did we sell yet? Hey, Wally, how you doing? Where's my money? So he's a numbers guy. He's serious about his number. Family's family, business is business.
Yep.
So we planted the number. He said, all right, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I love it. And listen, you said that you got lucky on it, but if you have enthusiasm about what you're doing and you let your friends and family know and they can benefit from it too, because he's getting paid on this deal. I know how much he got paid because we just talked about it before we got on here. So he's making a great return, an incredible return, and everybody's happy. And it's a family situation. So what I would say is, if you've got a really good deal for everybody out there, if you've got a really good deal, start talking to your family about it and show them the numbers. You can piece it together. You can do this. If there is, it is not, I can't do it. It's how can I do it, right? It's not, oh, I'm not going to be able to. I don't have that money. How can I get the money? That's the question. Let's open up your brain.
Exactly. Open it up. How can you get the money? It's not easy to give somebody $365,000. You really have to trust them.
Yep.
Even if they're family, even if they're your son, your daughter, whoever, you really have to trust them to say, I'm going to give you 365. You and I are going to own it. So essentially, we took title to the company, the company we own as well. Yep. So you're able to build that trust. But the more you swing, the more people you will meet. I have another private lender, and I met her because we bought one of her properties through seller financing.
Mm-hmm.
And I planted the numbers. I said, Joyce, you can make this. Instead of me paying the bank, why don't you finance it for me?
Love it.
She did it, and then from there, she financed another 4 properties for us.
I love it.
Yeah, she said, Christian, $200,000 is all I can lend you, and that's it.
That's it.
So I call her, hey Joyce, I got this property. She's like, okay, let's do it.
That's it, and that's how it's done. This is not some magical thing that happens. That's how it's done. Just build those connections and prove a track record. Once you start building that track record, now you're gonna have more money than you know how to spend. So you bought it for $365. You sold it. You put it on the MLS. You sold it for how much?
$460 plus 5.
Yeah, $460.
$465. Let's call it $465.
$465. $100 difference net because there's closing costs, there's some real estate agent costs, and some other things. What did you net on it?
Net was $86,000. Paid off our partner. We gave him 17. We walked away with 69.
Hold on a second.
Woo! There we go.
Yes, absolutely incredible, guys. This is 69,000 from a triplex from one time. You never know when that time's going to be. You never know when that next person that you call is going to be that $69,000 deal. And I'm telling you, when you get that wired into your account, you get a check for that size, it changes your brain forever. Now, all of a sudden, the things that you didn't think were possible are possible. You understand why people have mansions and cars and all these things and how they did it. I'm telling you, it comes down to the process of providing value to the seller, matching it up with a buyer that wants it, and we get in the middle. We get in the middle. And sometimes, you know what? It doesn't work out as a wholesale, but sometimes, I mean, did you do any work to this thing?
Nothing at all. It was beautiful. It was basically a wholesale, but yeah, a wholesale deal. Didn't do anything, kept all the tenants in there. And that's another addition, right? They were all paying rent. When we bought the property, the first of the month, they were all calling me, Christian, where do we send you the money? I said, just Zelle it into my account, and that's it. So I got an additional $3,000 during the time we were holding it. And we weren't paying a mortgage because the agreement was, we'll pay you at closing a certain percentage, So I was a landlord for a month.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Made an extra $3,000. That's fantastic. So, to anybody that wants to reach out to you, say congratulations, maybe joint venture with you or network with you in Fort Lauderdale or the surrounding areas, how do people get a hold of you?
Look me up on Instagram.
Okay.
Chris, CHRIS _ Somaza. That's my last name. I have to spell it out for everybody. It's SOMAZA. Chris _ Somaza on Instagram.
Guys, reach out to him if you're feeling really good energy and really good vibe from him. Reach out to him. He is incredible and would love to joint venture with people around town and really network with like-minded people. And so definitely reach out to him. Thank you so much, Christian. That was so incredible. I love it. I love watching because I saw it start to finish. So I got to see kind of peek behind the curtain, behind the scenes. So I got to see all this unfolding, but just absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy for you. And yeah, many more to come. I know it. So absolutely incredible. Yeah.
And you were putting that pressure on. You told me, get that thing closed, get that thing. I was like, Brent, I'm going to have to buy it, but absolutely, I appreciate you, Brent. There were some rough times during COVID, family, grandma, all these things. And, you definitely helped to continue going, organize it. And I'm taking that and I'm running with it. So, plenty more deals to come. And I think I'm spoiled now at 69,000. So, gosh, I need to make those big checks.
Got to get the 100. Got to get the 6-figure. That's right. And for everybody out there listening and watching, if you are interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, it is the TTP family. Go to wholesalinginc.com /TTP. That's wholesalinginc.com /TTP. Check out what the page says. Look at all the reviews. Look at what the program's all about. And if it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. We'd love to speak with you and see if you'd like to join the TTP family. But other than that, Christian, thank you so much. I really appreciate you jumping on here. Any final words?
Final words, guys. When you're on the phone, try to make them smile over the phone, right? Like, make them smile. When you smile and you hear that other smile, they feel it, right? So my thing is always humor and trying to joke around, smile, being genuine. I have confidence in what I do. So build up that confidence because that's priceless. So the way you do that, keep calling, get better, talk to Brent, talk to other investors, hit me up, and I will help you if you need help. I don't mind spending 30 minutes on the phone with people. So just go out there and take action. That's basically it.
That's basically it. Perfectly said. And with that, I'm going to sign off with encouraging you, as always, to talk to people. Until next time, guys. Love you. See ya.